Let me see what's going on this Tippler Talk Tuesday. Well, folks, today I have 3 yellows for an afternoon flight delight. You know, I'm sure everyone's still flying and breeding and so on. But check it out. I got 3 yellows. Let's see if I can get a little close up. Have these 3 nice yellows way out there. See them right there? This is an afternoon flight. I don't expect them to fly long. I just want to watch something in the sky. 3 yellows. Which brings me to conversation I had today with a pigeon mom here out on YouTube, and believe it or not, the conversation was about culling. So folks, ask yourself, the question is, do you cull? Some people do, some people don't. What do you do in your loft when you have birds that are not making the cut? And what I mean by that is not physically, but in health wise. You fly them, you try them, they don't succeed, they don't fly well. That's one thing. I'm looking for these tipplers here while I talk to you guys about culling. Anyway, the question was asked, when do you cull? How do you cull? Why is it beneficial in the loft? What's not beneficial in the loft about culling? Now, every fancier has their own ways, their own methods, their own beliefs on why they should and should not cull birds. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, culling, meaning remove, kill, dispose of. And sometimes the good thing about it is that once you have a loft full of healthy birds, you seldom have a problem in having to cull a young bird from the nest. If you see a bird that's not doing well, not making it, you can try to medicate the bird and it doesn't make it. Sometimes you have to cull. And then you have to go back to the parents and find out why that bird was not making it health-wise. Why wasn't it being healthy while being raised in the nest? And let's just say it gets that past that stage of the nest, and then you have the bird outside the nest and it's still not making it. Then you have to ask yourself, when it's time to cull. Now, that's a topic that's a real touchy topic, sensitive topic. I've never been good at it. I feel like sometimes you have to, because sometimes the disease is worse than the cure, or the cure can be worse than the disease. And that's the thing. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth saving this bird? And then you have to go back and look at your birds, and for that issue not to repeat itself in your nest, you have to take different precautions. That's why I always stress to people, it's okay to medicate your birds as a preventative. It's okay to always have a smaller downsize in amount. Too many, overcrowding causes problem. Dirty lofts causes problems. Sometimes not having the clean waterers causes a problem. So when I was talking to this pigeon mumbler earlier in the day about culling, it's a touchy subject, a taboo subject no one wants to talk about. But we did, and we had a wonderful chat about it. And most guys won't even talk about that. Most clubs don't even talk about that. And I know back in the day when pigeon fanciers, pigeon racers, homer racers would breed so many birds, and the ones that didn't make it at the end of the year, that did not place well on the sheet, on paper, never won a race, they will cull them. And they were perfectly healthy pigeons that could have been in somebody else's loft, maybe for them to breed out of, and maybe breed a winner. You have to ask yourself, when do you cull? Now that's why some fanciers, they would rather much give them away, which I like that. Gift them to someone that needs them or would like them. You know, not everyone will gift the birds. Like I said, folks, today's topic: what do you do in your loft? You may want to share that. You may not. I don't know. There's different methods of culling. I'm not going to get into that. But the topic for today is food for thought. Most guys don't talk about that. Most clubs don't talk about that. And I believe that control, you never have to get to that. Control your breeding. Control how many you have. Breed the best from the best. If you see a pigeon that's weak in the nest, weak growing up, you may not want to breed out of that bird, even if it makes it to adulthood. So these are things that you can do as a pigeon fancier to avoid that. Avoid the having to cull birds that you may not have the heart to. And you know, not everyone breeds the same. Not everyone keeps a clean loft. Not everyone, you know, feeds their birds healthy. Some guys just have birds just to have birds, and they let nature take its course. You know, hawks feed on them, predators. But in this case, this pigeon mumbler was concerned about culling, and all I could advise them is, you know, the choice is yours. I've seen old-time racers, old-timers that didn't even blink an eye. They reach in there and dispose of the bird quickly, not even think twice. Not to say that they don't have a heart for pigeons, that they don't love pigeons, but, you know, that's their method. I prefer sometimes to try to medicate and get the bird back to speed, back to health. If that doesn't work, then that bird will be dealt with on the sidelines, separated from all the other pigeons. But that's the key. If you keep a healthy loft, if you breed well, breed only the strong, breed the healthy ones, don't breed the weak ones, don't over medicate, of course. You know, vaccinate your birds, that helps. That reduces the risk of you having to cull in the future, any bird, especially when they're grown. You can see them in the nest when they're weak. But folks, on this Temple Talk Tuesday, thank you for tuning in for this short session on culling. You know, talk to other fanciers, get ideas from other folks, see what they do. It's a topic never discussed, or not often discussed, but I see it differently. See, we have room to grow and learn from each other and get ideas on how we can, you know, battle this issue when you have to cull a bird that's ill and you don't have the proper medication, you know, or the stuff that you buy over the counter is not enough. It's just simply not enough, and the bird will not get better. So when you run into that problem, that's when you are at the end of the road, and you may want to cull the bird and not repeat that same problem in your loft. But overall, I think it can be prevented. I think that the more you keep a healthy loft, the less you will have to cull a bird. All right, folks, I'm looking. I don't know where in the heck these three went. Oh, they're way up there. Let me see if I could find them now. They're pretty high. And as I enjoy this afternoon flight delight, I hope you guys think about that. Put your comments below. Tell me what you do. Tell me if you do call, if you don't call, and why. Let's hear from you. I know there's guys out there wondering what happens when they have to call. What do you do? All right, folks, like always, see you on the next one. Peace.